Celtics are on
Okay,
tonight.
Jackie. Okay, we'll call the May 12th, 2025 Williamstown Select Board meeting to order. First item is to set the agenda. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda?
I'd like to bring something up. We just had Green Up Day, and I don't know the exact address, but Pike Industries is in our town, their driveway, but there's a turnaround that is littered with trash. And was also told that unfortunately cars are there probably not doing appropriate things. So they were just concerned, and I drove by today, it is like the entire bank is completely covered in trash, and if people are parking there not doing something responsible.
That's the one in front of Pike and.
It's right near Pike, I think.
Yeah,
That's our old pit entrance.
That's the state highway,
Okay.
and from what I understand from District 6, that turnaround is going away.
Okay,
They're filling in that one, and I believe they're filling in the one on the bottom of Chelsea Road.
okay.
At least blocking it off.
Yeah, that's what my suggestion would be if someone's not doing things, I mean, that's why I was bringing it up. If someone's, hey, there's a bunch of trash there, and we just had Green Up Day, so.
Yeah.
But if someone's doing not responsible things there, not safe things.
Approached me on that turnaround because it is an old entrance to our gravel pit.
Okay,
We'll never, ever go in there again. They wanted to know if we would allow them to fill it with dirt, just piles of dirt, because they found that putting posts in or even guardrails, people would just throw their trash over the guardrail.
okay.
They figure if it's just a mound of dirt, it's not gonna be quite as easy to do.
We have that
Oh.
sticky right here that says
Okay.
turnarounds.
So,
Okay, perfect, I had no idea, but that was something. That's all I had.
but there'll be we got another mention of turnarounds here, managers reports.
All right,
Okay, we have a motion on the agenda as written.
make a motion, as written.
Second.
Motion made second. Any further discussion? Okay, one thing we forgot to do is do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I should know that.
Could you put that on the top thing on the agenda from now on, so I won't forget?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, my short-term memory is awful.
Okay. View of open public comments. There's a sheet on the back window up there that you can read. I think everybody's been here before. If you're interested in how the meetings are run. Any select board announcements? Any public announcements? Committees, trustees, emergency services reports, and other board announcements? Yes, sir.
The planning commission return, I'll just mention it's in your packet, but we did receive that $25,500 grant for the
Good deal.
municipal planning grant for the, we're just trying to work out the logistics now, get things under contract and get that going. So it was a real strong application, and I felt pretty good about it, so it was really good to get that work. And I'll work with Jackie and Regional Planning Commission, and we'll get things rolling on that.
That was to help with the upgrade of the town plan.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, exactly.
Good deal.
Just to follow up on that, the statute changed back in 90, right? We figured it was 1990, where if the town was 2,500 residents or more, the town could vote to not be an urban, to be a rural,
Right.
and which it was done in 1992. We found the minutes today, so we do not have to put it out to bid under that. So we can have the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission do
Right.
the.
And Jackie was great finding that in the vault, like right off. But they tried to get it out to RFP bid because we're over 2,500 people in the town. But there is a provision in the state statute where if it's over 2,500 but under 5,000, if the town votes on it by the ballot, and shows that. So we've got the page and everything. I forward that on to the Regional Planning Commission. So we should just be able to contract with them without going out for RFP. Sure.
Anyone else? Okay. Let's see, approval of the warrants of SB 221142, 221143, 1144, and 1145. Do you have a motion on that?
Motion approved as written.
Second that.
Motion made and seconded. Do you guys have any conflict on these motions?
No,
No,
not these.
payroll.
Just payroll, okay.
Just real quick, you said 1142, 11, but on here, only one of them has two ones. The others only have 11.
Here,
Why-
22, 2143, 2144, and 2145.
Okay, so this is correct, what's right on page?
142, 143.
There's a typo on there, there's an extra one on the first SB 22.
I thought it was a little long.
That's why I
Yeah,
was.
there's an extra number in there.
So it's only 2142, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Just one quick discussion.
Yep.
Warrant 22143, sidewalk maintenance. I just want to make sure that's actually getting done. I know I walked down whatever the road is from the school and that sidewalk looked a little rough. I don't know how the sidewalks look.
That's for snow removal. That's Adam Stone, snow removal.
Okay, so do we have anything to get the dirt and mud off of our sidewalk, like our only sidewalks essentially in town?
the state usually goes down through.
They usually come with a sweeper. Are we doing the sweeper for
That
them?
very word.
Because they talked about bartering work back and forth with the town and the state and us using our sweeper and doing it, and they were gonna haul, what are they gonna haul for us? Sand for us. So that's still in the works.
All right, as long as it's, I mean, it's definitely creamy season, so I'm sure a lot of people are walking on that sidewalk. And then if a lot of kids walk home from school for sure. So I just want to make sure
But
they're
that's
not.
not the sidewalk. That's just the side of the road.
Yeah,
There's no,
Well, I'm saying where the bridge is, that specific spot.
yeah.
yeah, the town doesn't have nothing to do with the sidewalks with, I mean, other than a push button.
Okay. I just want to make sure they're safe for the kids that are walking home. But I thought Adam Stone did that. I thought that was part of the contract. Okay.
That's good. So is everybody all set? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Payroll warrants, 323 and 420 and 54. Motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second that. We have to do these one at a time.
Well,
Wait.
you can.
You guys can just excuse yourself.
I'll just recuse myself from.
Yeah, as long as
They
we
can
get,
do
as long
both
as
of
we
them.
get three.
We get the majority here.
I recuse them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay, you can have, motion, did you make a motion on it?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, motion, you seconded? Yep. Okay, motion made, seconded, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Approval of the select board meeting minutes of 4:14. Have a motion on that?
Second.
Motion made, seconded, any discussion?
I'm just gonna be really silly here because I know reading it, there wasn't one misspelled word.
I don't know what's wrong with my spell check.
Rich Turner, Planning Commission. The second one says also, and then it's supposed to say thanked, it's just missing the E. But it says somewhere in this minutes that we're working on our spell check. That's why I thought it was ironic. I thought Jackie was honestly just seeing if I read it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good day at the test.
Yeah.
Yes. So far, so good.
Found another one.
Back to 1,000.
Complete.
Was there another misspelled Cody Graves?
In fact, it's like me.
I'll spell check it.
I hit spell check, so I don't know why it's
Yeah,
not.
okay, I'll write it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Maybe an
I know.
extra half hour script.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody all set with that, with amendments?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, town manager's report, Jackie?
Okay. Let's see. So the grader is here for the second grader for the month of May, but it just came on Friday, so, and it's not the grader that we were planning on getting, but it'll work. The new roller arrived last week, so that's out working and working well. The federal highway grant has been approved for the projects that were pulled back from FEMA, and I should be receiving the check, the direct deposit into the account by the end of the week, if not the first part of next week. So that'll please close out all of the flood projects for July 2023, December 2023, and July 2024. So those will all be done. The paving grant was submitted on 4/15 for the Graniteville, the rest of Graniteville Road, Cogswell, and Robar. Haven't heard any back on that. The structures grant was submitted on 4/15 for Henry Road Culvert. So waiting on those. We received a Better Back Roads grant for $8,604, and that's to upgrade the townwide erosion inventory for the Department of Environmental Conservation through the Municipal Road Grants Program. I sent in the letter of intent for the 2026 Municipal Road Grant Program this morning. And they'll be getting with Dave, Ashley will getting from the state, will be getting with Dave to decide which project that will be. The road crew is currently working in the town pit. The culvert was replaced on Baptist Street. The ledge was removed on McCarthy Road, and we just have some ditching to do up there. So the water will go directly into the culvert. South Hill and Baptist Street ditching material and guardrails we're starting on May 12th. We have the site visit for the road rehab projects on Wednesday, the 14th. The bids will need to be submitted by the Friday, that would be the 6th, for the June 9th select board meeting for a review and opening and approval. The Ross Dairy property on Meadow Street, the notice of trespass was issued on 4/29. But the squatters have hired an attorney, and the attorney told them that they are not to move until a court order has been issued by Orange County Court for them to be removed from the property.
That's right here.
Correct. So,
Didn't the no trespass order, ain't that the same as a court order?
no,
Of course not.
we have to get this. So Ross had contacted his attorney. His attorney doesn't have time to do it, so I gave him the name of another attorney he reached out to, and they're working on that right now. The FEMA buyout has been approved, just waiting for the funding to come from the feds. The money was allocated, so it should be coming to the state, and the state has allocated the other 25% to cover the difference that FEMA's not covering. So as soon as we can get the squatters out of there, we can start with the process of dismantling the mobile home that was flooded and the house. And as soon as that comes through, Ross will be moving out the mobile home. It's 66 Meadow Street that's closest to the bridge. The Hoyt Seaver Ball Field property transaction was completed on April 25th, so that's all set. And the fire department is doing a pre-plan with the pub on June 9th. So for the building, so Route 64 to Depot Street will be closed from 6 to 7 from Beckett to Depot. So that section, the traffic will have to be deferred around Depot Street and back up Meadow for that. And then turnouts. Green Up was a disaster this year. People are cleaning out their barns, their garages, their houses, and they're dumping everything on the side of the road for us to clean up and dispose of.
No.
Again, it's gotten worse.
It's getting worse.
I did post on the Facebook page today a photo of a horse buggy, 2 large screens that are used to drag your lawns or your fields, several tarps, some pristine looking white buckets, several horse feed bags that were full of other clean horse feed grain bags, a satellite dish, and
Paint cans.
what's that?
Paint cans.
Paint cans, a muffler, and this was all dumped up on Washington Road, after they'd already gone through and cleaned up all the other stuff. So,
That's 7 flat screen TVs between Perry Road and Cogswell.
Cogswell Street,
Like, they came, somebody picked them up over the side of the road, set them on there, they were all piled up.
Green Up is
All
for,
together,
yeah,
17.
No, it's 7.
7.
Oh, 7.
So we have several turnouts in town that this seems to be a constant dumping ground for. We're constantly going out and picking up mattresses, tires. People are just taking them and dumping them in these turnouts. We do have 2 game cameras that we can put out, but also like the turnout up on Peary Road,
It's just before you're going back way to Rock Pages, they
Oh, yeah,
go around the
Right where
right.
the snow machine clubhouse is.
Yeah,
This side of it.
yeah.
It's not, it shouldn't be there.
Yeah, we're asking if we can block those off. We've got several large pieces of granite in the town pit that we can go up and put in curbing that won't encroach into our plowing to keep people deterred from pulling in there and dumping stuff.
Are we getting a lot of stuff in those figures? The reason I'm asking is where the cell phone laws are and stuff now that people have to have areas to get off the road.
The state's quote is having the same problem and they're shutting turnaround, you know?
Yeah, they just shut off the one on the interstate.
Yeah, and like I said, they're gonna fill in the one at the bottom of Chelsea Road.
The state's gonna do that
The
one?
state's doing that, and they're gonna, the one up by, that you had brought up. And there's several other ones that
They
they're
were gonna
talking
do the
about
one
doing
down
away
at the
with.
end of Church Road, past Big Fly's Cottage, but that is where cell phone service stopped. So people do use that to get cell phone service, either coming out of Brookfield or going back down, they stop there before they lose service. So they're not gonna do that one, but they're not maintaining it in the winter, it's just a summer thing. But I'm just thinking these turnarounds, like out Perry Road, there's 100 feet past it, you can pull into the snowmobile club, there's a gate there, but you can pull in there. Another 1/8 of a mile, you got to turn around at the town line, where the trucks turn around. It's not needed, it's not, it's just a spot for people to pull over, dump shit. Dump needles, shoot up, whatever. Change their baby and throw the diaper on the ground. Green Up Day is getting really hard for the highway crews because you don't know what you're picking up. And, all them bags have to be picked up, thrown in the back of the truck, hauled down here, thrown in a bucket loader, dumped in a 10-wheeler. And the green bags are one thing, but when you get horse buggies that I gotta go up on Washington Road, pick up with a bucket loader, put in the back of the dump truck, and haul it to the metal dump, it's not Green Up Day.
Well, I don't know how you're gonna stop it unless you get somebody in the act. But I think that Green Up Day is a great tool to get sides of roads cleaned up.
Well, that's what it's for, is roadside
I mean.
trash. It's not this stuff that's getting put out there after the fact, that we've already gone around and we've already cleaned up.
I wholeheartedly agree with that, but I don't know how you're gonna
Right.
do anything different, what you're doing.
Was most of the stuff you found, like the buggy and the TVs, were those at a pull-off or just randomly on the side of the road?
Yeah, there's well, it's not a pull off, but there's an entrance, a cabled entrance to a piece of property that Mercier's own up there. And it was all piled up right in front of that cable, right on the side of the road.
So my only thought is next year, maybe ahead of Green Up Day, go out where these spots are, set your game cameras.
There's 4 or 5 just every year. And it's the same with tires. I mean, Monday morning, I went up Tower Road, going to work at 5 o'clock. Went up Tower Road, down Terry Hill, out Baptist Street. There was 3 tires on the side of the road. There was 2 on Terry Hill, and there was 1 on Baptist Street. By the time the guys got in their trucks and headed out, there was 35 tires on Tower Road, the whole length of it stacked up. We had 135 tires this year that we picked up just in our town.
Well, it was nice for them to stack them up for you, didn't have to go down over the bank. I remember going over the bank with Peter Welch there, up on
Yeah, we
Bedore
brought
Road,
up like 250 tires on Bedore Road.
100 feet down
With a
that
winch.
thing. I mean, I don't know,
I know, there's nothing you can do about it. It's very frustrating, and it's town, it's town, Green Up gives the town $250. So it's town money that we're spending to pick up clean out from people's houses.
Dave, I don't think you're gonna sell it anymore. We understand, I'm quite sure. Now, started off this conversation was to just getting permission to block these U-turns off.
Yeah.
We'll kind of jump back to that and get this done. I mean,
I have no problem with it. My only concern was that somewhere they need places to pull off to use cell phones or whatever, but obviously need to be there.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded, do we allow them to block off what roads they feel necessary, or turnouts they feel necessary? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You done with that? I got one other thing, Jack and I talked about it, but, the Beatty Mountain, Henry Road culvert there. She's submitted some stuff, just so the rest of the board knows what's going on with that.
So when we did the hydraulic study up on Robar Road and Cogswell Street, I also had the state do Henry Road, which it's severely undersized. I mean, the July 9th, 2013 flood, when it took out the 2 culverts on Flint Road, it also wiped out that road, and it's wiped it out multiple times since then. And Mr. Beatty has been nice enough to just put the culvert back in every time that it gets washed out, but because we had the hydraulic study done, I submitted the structures grant to the AOT for funding to upsize that culvert. It's just a matter of waiting to see if we get the resources to do it. So that's where we stand with that one.
Problem with it is, every time it blows out, all the gravel and stuff ends up going down the brook that we've just cleaned out down the village, and that settles down in there.
Dredging on.
So we're trying to get that done so that we can stop that from happening.
Just with culverts, so did the town only do, because I know there was 2 culverts that were replaced up on Baptist. I saw Mike doing one. Did those homeowners do that one down by the greenhouse, or?
We did both culverts.
Okay.
And the reason, the second one was a new culvert.
Yeah.
Because all that water that was sitting on the side of the road was just making a mud hole there, so I talked to the landowner that owns the field there, and he allowed us to put that new culvert in, so while Mike was there changing that other culvert, I had to do that one in.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. And then the next, the 2 that are closer to Luke's,
Yeah,
are those good? I know not the closest one to his, but the next one back, I know that one, 'cause there's a lot of dirt and stuff filled up in there. I don't know if you guys,
We went in there and cleaned that out last year after the July flood.
yeah,
And it does keep building up, but the culvert itself is fine.
It's good, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
There is an issue up there that I'm not the one who's gonna have to deal with it. It's gonna have to be the state, but somebody had dumped a bunch of, stumps and stuff down over the bank up in the corner of the field up there.
By Luke's across,
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, and it kind of is blocking the brook off,
I did see that.
and it's gonna create a problem. But that's not gonna be a town thing, that's gonna be a,
Okay.
Anyone have anything for Jack in the audience? No,
Is this-
Glenn,
Is this about,
you, Anthony, you like to talk to Jackie about
Yeah.
the road foreman?
this probably has something to do with I don't know if the town's done a hydraulics and hydrology report on Construction Hill. I'm kinda here on behalf of complaining for the people that live on, I've talked to a few of the neighbors and I appreciate the work that the town, I think, cut some like culverts at the top of Construction Hill towards the school, but the catch basin in front of my house, I mean, I assume that it's the town's responsibility if that gets filled with aggregate, it's filled with rock. I'm not pointing fingers about who did it or whatever, but I've sent a video, I don't know if Tyler got the video in his email, but I brought a video that you guys can watch that shows when it rains. I just recorded the culvert, or I believe it's called a catch basin, but you know, it's the water runoff coming down. And I'm not a hydrologist or whatever, I didn't do a report on it, but you can see in the video, the water goes over, because it can't go down the catch basin, it's filled with rock, and sand, and dirt. It takes all the silt from up the hill, pulls it over our driveway, it's eroding our whole mailbox, part of our land, goes across our driveway, is widening it, and then because of the work that happened with the ARPA money that came in, did the water and the sewer that the town got, you know, that work has been made even worse because of this catch basin. And they put a silt fence in it, but it's now removed a ton of that just, you know, recently. I got videos, pictures if anybody wants to see it.
we're trying to schedule a back truck. We don't know
That's
one.
what I think it
We're
needs.
trying to schedule a back truck to come up and clean that catch basin out.
Okay,
And then above that, where it's kind of trenched,
yeah,
we're gonna do some work up through there. We just don't need to do it until that catch basin's cleaned out, because otherwise we're just gonna have to pay to have it done again when
right,
it fills in, so. And the rain has just killed us this year,
right,
you
yeah,
know, but we went up above and trenched so that the water coming down the right side to High Street goes in that catch basin like it's supposed to now. And then the water from out of High Street goes down into the catch basin on the other side of the road from you.
okay,
But the water coming down your side is not getting in the catch basin because over the years it's just filled up. And so we're trying to schedule Dairy Town to come over with their back truck. The problem was is the guy that runs their back truck quit. So they're training a new guy. So they haven't
be on it, I'll get
been, they haven't been able to do it yet, but that's in the works.
okay.
You think, when will that be happening? Because we're gonna start cleaning that up next week. All the lawns and stuff, so
I'll have to call, McCaden again and see how they're coming.
we should have it done before we do that, because it's just gonna wash down over everything,
Right.
screw it all up.
Worst case scenario, I mean, we can go up and clean out some of it by hand if we can't get in there before you start that. But that's definitely, I wanted it done last week and McCaden said that they didn't have anybody trained on it. They had Berry City.
Have you got other work besides that you need them for?
I've got a couple other things that I want to have to do while they're over here.
I mean, we got a guy that we've been using lately, does a really good job at it, if we can get a hold of Jimmy, he can give you the phone number if you can't. You know, if you got enough for him, make it worthwhile for him to come, just for one catch basin,
Yeah, all the silt, that home that they're trying to sell, Consolidated Solutions,
Well,
yeah, that silt is taking over they probably can't sell the house because of that. Yeah, well, I mean,
We're working on it, Seth, we're trying.
you could see in the video, like.
If anyone- I saw an email, if anyone wants to see the video, it's on my
Across our
phone.
driveways.
I'll check it out.
And then right now.
I've seen it come down.
Basically, the water's going off of Construction Hill, over the driveway, and then down.
That's what, right down over by the
Yeah.
headlock.
Yeah, basically where that black, the water line is displaced, there's a black fence, cloth fence, and it's just pouring down over that, so.
That's
Trying
right.
to show everything was just put in there for dirt.
Some of the rain storms we had, the water's running uphill, I think.
The amount of rain we've had.
So, anyway, if you can work that out, it'd be good to have that done before we get that all
I'll
logged.
try to call the Cave tomorrow, and if I can, I'll give Jimmy a call and get that guy's number and see what he charges to do it.
He was reasonable, he's,
I've got another one up on Fernal Road that I gotta do, and I've got one over here on Bailey Road that's gotta be done. I hate catch basins on dirt roads, that's the dumbest idea in the world.
Is it basically just like a dry well?
That's just it's just a concrete square
Yeah.
with a grate on top of it.
So it just fills up, just to catch all the dirt and,
Yeah, the water's supposed to run in it and then run out of it in a different direction, but,
yeah.
It can't go anywhere when it's filled with rock.
right.
Yeah.
Dumps rock to stop the erosion.
Yeah.
But gravity, water, wind.
okay, anybody have anything else? Okay. On to new business, Clark Road hearing, we had a public hearing up there at 6 o'clock. Dave was there along with select board, Jackie, and the owner of the mini stores there, Lucky, and a representative from Rob from Second Springs. And we kind of come to a consensus, I think. And things have, we thought we had it all set, then things been dragged out for one reason or another. And so we come to the conclusion we're gonna reclassify it. And we will, if it doesn't get settled, and I'm gonna let,
We quickly drafted up a proposal I think the landowners up there would be suffice, but we kind of discussed it, but this is just so the town knows. And it's, after discussion on the 512 site visit, this is what is proposed. All the legal documents are not in place at the turnaround, our OW. What the hell?
that's it, right away.
Right, and turn around right away, there we go, I was like, what does that mean? Anyway, as previously approved by the board, legal documents in place that the town will not be responsible for any snowbank removal where town's up and ends, they'll take care of that, and if that's not in place, the road will be reclassified as a class 4 town highway at the July 14th select board meeting. All documents need to be signed, completed, and brought to the town manager by 7/1/25.
Okay, anybody second that motion?
Yep.
Motion made, seconded, any further discussion?
My only thing again was having a deadline, July 1st, we need to have everything.
That's there, and the paperwork that basically is Bob Chappelle owns, has right of way to his property up there in between. As long as he signs an agreement saying the town can put the snow there during the winter time and plow, that was the only, because
Yeah.
Second Springs owner or Representative Rob and Lucky didn't have permission to do that. So as long as Bob signs the paper saying it's okay with that, then we'll continue with this.
Yeah, that was my only two things, the deadline, his signature, and their signature saying they will clean up any residual snow that's left over from the plow.
So, the onyx is on them to get that done by July 1st, or at the next meeting, it will be reclassified to a class 4 road. There's no more site visits that gonna happen. This thing's been dragging on since 2021, October. Enough is enough, so.
And just a question, because I didn't actually ask this question, how many residents live at Second Spring?
16.
So, one question I had, because prior to me becoming a select board member, the issue was how many residents, specifically houses, because that's where this all comes from. But if there are 16 people within this resident, I understand it's one building, but there are 16 residents. So, and they're not there necessarily, they're there for their safety as well. I believe, right, Second Spring is a mental health organization, help people.
Mental health agency, yeah, and it's for treatment, for safety.
Yeah, that's exactly, okay. So, all right, I'm fine with that, because there are 16 people living there.
This will help keep part of the road taken care of for that. And the rest of it be just a driveway up to theirs, like if you're going to Rowan Court or anywhere else, it's got.
Yeah, no,
access, so.
right, yeah, if there's an EMS call or a fire call, that's the big thing, no one wants to get hurt.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That being said, even if it's a private driveway,
Yeah.
if the fire department calls me and tells me that they can't get up it, I go say that.
Oh, I know you have it. No, I can't remember what road we were on. It was a chimney fire.
Boys,
No, it was up off.
It was at Boys. It was ladder one got stuck.
It was on, Windmill Lane.
Yeah, Windmill Lane.
Up off-
The tower got stuck and he was there and,
Like this
but it was
on
on Boyce Road too.
okay, yeah.
And
So,
someone else.
and yes, we appreciate, and again, I'm speaking as a firefighter here, we appreciate everything the town does.
Give it-
Yeah,
Let's give it to Jackie.
Services, I don't
Jackie
care
says
if
she
it's
can
town
have
road
it.
or
Yeah, of course.
personally or what.
I'm a big proponent of people having safety.
Me too.
Okay, next item is the pub approval for liquor license. Barbara, you deal with that?
I received payment from Pam Cassie, so just need your approval and I'll just back in tomorrow.
I ain't gonna be the one to vote down that, I'll be hung.
Let's steal your chair.
We wanna make a motion on that?
Yep.
Yep, made the motion, a second?
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded. Any discussion?
I just have one thing that I heard, that there was a fire alarm there and or a fire call and the electrical panel was covered by drywall. I was not on the call.
That makes it handy.
People that are utilizing alcohol don't always make good decisions, I'm not saying them, but we want to make sure again for safety, so just pass on to them that their electrical panel or anything safety that fire EMS, Berry Town needs to go in there to help someone, they need to have access. Because alcohol is not the
Maybe
greatest.
we'll take a look at it.
It was the one downstairs in the basement.
I mean drywall.
Okay, I was told it was covered by something.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, was it covered by?
It's a sliding door.
Okay, they said they had to screw it. They said it was screwed, they'd use a
There's a
screwdriver
panel
to get
in
it up.
there.
Okay,
It's panel in, all you gotta do is slide it over.
okay, all right.
See,
Wanna make sure it's
check
safe.
that out when you have your fire drill over there.
I'm unfortunately working that day, that's the only Monday I work.
The only thing, even though you approved Dollar Generals, we're still waiting on payment, so I haven't pushed the button to okay that one.
Yeah. Cause we stipulated that, right, that due to, if they send
You-
payment, then you're good to go, but.
They'd rather you okay it once you have payment, because it's, yeah.
Okay, so
Okay,
there's a first and a second.
And then we're gonna final vote.
first, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Right, opposed? Good. Unlicensed dogs.
Okay, so the town clerk has sent out the letter to, the list of, residents with unlicensed dogs. She sent that out at the beginning of May, they have until May 30th to license their dogs, to notify her that they no longer have their dogs. What we're requesting is that June 1st, you give permission June 1st for the town clerk to submit a list to myself so we can hand it off to the animal control officer to go after the people that have not licensed their dogs.
Sounds like good remedy.
Scott,
Barb?
you have until the 30th,
I've never licensed our dogs, I will do that.
okay?
Just have to have a return rabies certificate.
Okay, I did that for that. I will do that, Barb, I'm
I
sorry.
guess I was with such
My dog's
criminals.
legal.
I know, we're bad people, forgive me.
Jay, my
One
dog
time,
has
I
a
think it
license.
was a year or two ago, there was 3 select board members that had dogs that weren't licensed.
Yeah.
My dog is licensed. I accidentally paid too little
Hey,
initially.
you guys got a quorum, you can vote this
I
out.
gave you-
Yeah, let's get rid of the licensing. What's that
3 out of
process
5.
once it
I was
goes
gonna
back?
say, no, my dog's illegal, just
So
like you
after
know.
making
I don't have
the
one.
Mark will create the list of unlicensed dogs and we will hand that off to Sam and then Sam can actually issue tickets
Okay, so it's
to
just.
them for unlicensed. They received everybody received a letter. They went out at the beginning of May, giving them 30 days to get their dog licensed or to notify them.
I guess
they
people
know.
are just getting them now.
Yeah, they're trickling in.
Okay.
So,
Oh, that,
Sounds like
I don't know
Rick's
if-
tickets next meeting.
I don't know if anybody else been in any problems. This post office is the biggest piece of crap.
It's not just the post
Yeah,
office, I get mail,
everywhere.
I'm in Beartown, and I get mail every 3 days, thereabouts. I get mail and my box is full, so you know, you didn't get it all one day. It gets collected and they don't have the delivery people or whatever, but it's not just here, it's not Williamstown. It's the mail system in general.
Everybody's complaining about it.
Well, this one isn't the greatest, let's put it that way.
Well,
You got
Scott,
mailbox, though.
Scott, you've been warned.
Oh, I know
Haven't you,
that.
neighbor?
No, but I don't, just talking, yeah.
He's not alone. Sounds mainly we got
Maybe
3
you
of
guys
them
can
here.
carpool over and take care of this.
What's that?
Maybe you guys can carpool together.
No, I already registered my dog, 'cause I knew.
Yep.
Do the right thing, I think that's the Cub Scout motto, do the right thing.
You want to get alongside the girls in the office. And
Yeah, I know.
Barb, just so the public knows, what is the fee, just so everyone watching this knows?
Okay, if an unlicensed dog, it was 14, it's now 18 for spayed and neutered. An $18 dog that is not spayed and neutered is now $22, $4 late fee.
And just so the public knows.
And what's
And make
this?
sure that they
And
bring your
since Cody, you
rabies
haven't
ticket.
registered, I mean, the late fee doesn't apply to you because you didn't register it'd be a new dog on file.
Okay,
So I don't have that dog in my system.
yeah.
It's the people that have their dog.
Hey, I'll take it. That's, you know.
You just got that dog.
Or you could be like somebody and call and say, I no longer have this dog anymore, and then, what am I gonna, I'm not gonna argue with you, so I.
As you hear the barking in the background.
And then maybe just also for the public, do you know what the citation fee is if they?
We looked it up, wasn't it up to $500? So it could hurt.
And I think the theory behind all of this is like, this is a state fee to begin with.
It's a state law.
It's for rabies. That's the
Exactly, right.
real, they don't,
Because if your dog was to bite somebody,
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing, the insurance company and the animal control officer and the health officer are gonna ask is the dog registered within the town?
Yeah.
So it's kind of another, cover yourself.
yeah, and
It's all
unfortunately,
right, as long, they can just go out and need some of them rabies drop things there, they're dropping from the airplanes here, dog kills.
Nothing safe for the dog, they don't.
Put some in dog fish.
The thing is that we have so many dogs that are running at large in town that if they were licensed, when we pick them up and they have their tag on, we could notify the owner immediately
Yeah.
instead of having to impound them or, deal with all these other issues.
Mine only go down at William's house.
I don't let my dog out. My dog never goes out, doesn't go anywhere. I like that
I've
one.
got an electric
Walked
dog
up to
fence
him.
that says,
Have Dave pick him up on Green Up Day when he's going around.
'cause I don't want him to look like the squirrel I got clipped the other day.
We have been throwing around the idea when we start the townwide reappraisal of doing a dog census. Because there are a lot of dogs out there that are not licensed. And
Especially bite the appraisers, they probably know that.
but,
Something,
Please
yeah,
license
it's been
your
long
dogs.
enough. I mean, we kind of let it last since COVID. We let things slide a lot, but it's time, to do the right thing. Register your dog. It's not a town law. It's a state law.
so I just need a vote from the board to allow her to submit the list to me instead of waiting until June 9th before we can proceed.
I make a motion to let the girls go after the dogs.
Yep.
I make the motion.
I second it.
Motion made, seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
I might have to recuse myself.
Not guilty till proven guilty.
Oh, I'm guilty.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Hey, this gentleman out here's got a question.
Yeah, thanks. I was on the fence about, bringing it up, but since we had this whole conversation about dogs, I figured I'd mention it. What's the role of the animal control officer in supporting residents who are having a neighbor whose dog constantly like runs amok in their yard? So I've got a neighbor across the street, dog's always getting loose, running through my yard, it's happened a lot. I'm trying to run a chainsaw to cut stumps, everybody's cutting through the yard after the dog. And, you know, I understand that dogs get loose, but part of the issue is my dog's a rescue and she doesn't interact very well with dogs. So whenever we take our dog out, we always keep her on the leash and then bring her right back inside. But this other dog gets loose so many times and then starts running around in the yard. We're afraid that that other dog's gonna hurt our dog. Because the other dog is really young and powerful and the owners don't have control of it. And my dog's basically like a grandma dog.
So you can file a complaint,
Okay.
preferably in writing, and bring it in. I mean, there's a clause under the animal control ordinance for nuisance dogs,
Okay.
and they can be ticketed. And then there's a process that goes through. And if it continues to be a problem, then their dog can be impounded.
Okay, and where do I file that?
You can bring the written statement in, and either Barbara or myself will notarize it. You write it out when you come in, sign it, and we'll pass it on to Sam.
Thanks. And I've also got video footage on my camera of everybody running through my yard and hollering swear words at me because I complained that their dog was in my yard, so.
I mean, you can submit that to us also.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
anyone else have anything? Round the table, Tyler,
I'm all set.
Scott, Clayton,
All good?
Jody? Guess I'm all set. Okay, I guess I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Motion made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks everyone for coming.
Thank you.